That's right everyone, I have been playing Deadman mode. In Deadman mode, you are not safe almost anywhere. At any point you can lose almost the entirety of your bank, and just generally it is a very dangerous PvP seasonal game. So why am I playing it? Someone who has never PvP'd in their life and will probably die immediately? Well, because I like money and I want to try to make some money. But my plan is to do it without ever leaving a safe zone. Okay, ground item markers is getting turned off. So how exactly am I planning on doing this? Well, there's really only one way in my mind to make money in a safe zone, and that's buying and selling things on the Grand Exchange, flipping in a brand new economy. There are some reasonably safe other money makers that could take advantage of the new sigils, but for the most part, the sigils are actually nerfed in safe zones. So we're of course starting off with our 10k, and we're also going to run through a couple other accounts that have bonded up already, just to get as much starting cash as possible. The tournament literally just started a few minutes ago. Thankfully, it started at a reasonable hour for me. So we're gonna trade over all our cash to one account and get to work. Okay, well let's first up just have a look at what's inside this Deadman mode starter pack. Hey, there's some cash in there. Okay, hold up. And a relic. Now I imagine these aren't gonna be going for much to begin with here, but I don't know, let's just dump it in here for 1,000, see if it sells. Okay, it did. For exactly 1,000, all right. Hold up a second, there are taxes in Deadman mode? For what? Where is that money going? Jagex, why am I being taxed in a temporary game mode? Okay, well I guess we'll open this up on all our accounts just for the cash in the initial relic and trade everything over. Now right now there's so little gold in the economy right now that pretty much everything is going for dirt cheap, although relative to the total gold it's probably very expensive. But over time as more gold enters the game, prices for everything are going to go up a lot, and in particular these sigils I would imagine. We started off by buying a couple Eternal Jeweler sigils. They were just cheap, that's just the one I happened to buy. See if we can just flip them for a couple thousand maybe. Okay, I kind of remember this from last year. Flipping in the first hour, a little difficult. Nobody has any gold. Most people are kind of off just doing quests anyway, so the flow of items is kind of slow, barring a few. Things like Dragon Bones, Law Runes, those are still quite in demand. Staffs of Fire, we're kind of trying to flip those. But in hindsight, maybe it would have been better to kind of go out with my immunity, do a couple things for an hour, then come back and start flipping, but we'll keep that in mind for next time. Okay, so it's actually been a couple hours. We've had little success so far on early game resource items, but now we're going to move on to some sigils. For example, here we just bought the sigil of Slaughter for 3,000, and I'm hoping we can resell it maybe for 2 or 3 times. We're gonna try for 12,000. I'm sure eventually it'll sell for that much, it's just really how long are we gonna wait. We also picked ourselves up a sigil of Versatility. Now one thing I just want to mention is I actually joined a couple random swapping clans. Wouldn't necessarily recommend them, I haven't even tried. I was just in there to see what the swap rate was going for over the course of the day, just because I think it's kind of useful information. Over about 3 hours, we worked our way up to about 150k cash stack. Pretty dang slow, we've only made 100k in about 3 hours, but the economy is so fresh. Okay, there we go. I actually bought a pretty expensive sigil, the Sigil of Meticulous Mage, an early game mage sigil that I think is quite strong. We're gonna try selling it for a 10k profit, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you consider like the potential swap rates of everything, that might be like a few mil in profit at this point. Hey, there we go, we sold it, 10k profit. Okay, now we're talking. That's actually some decent money. I think sigils are the way to go right now. Okay, there's another flip on the Sigil of Formidable Fighter, kind of similar but the melee variant. Sold it for 32k, bought it for 21, so like another 10k profit. I think the buying limit on these things are 10, so we can do about 10 of each one every 4 hours, which I think we should really try to push for if we can. Okay, we just sold a Sigil of Slaughter for 12,000. We bought it for 3,000, so we just like 4x'd our money on that. Quite a good return. Ooh, 2 sales is coming through, another 10k on the Meticulous Mage, and another 8k on the Sigil of Slaughter. We're kind of figuring things out here. Flipping sigils, definitely the way to go on day one, I think. Okay, we just sold a Sigil of the Formidable Fighter for 75k, bought it for 41, so that's like a 35k profit on a single sigil. Really, really good. Oh, another huge flip coming in. 2 Sigils of Death Strike sold for 70k. We bought them for 42, so that's a 80k profit just on those 2 sigils. Absolutely massive, and I think that was our best flip to date so far. Okay, we're finally branching out a little bit from sigils. We're gonna try some rune armor. The stuff is really expensive compared to the main game right now. Like rune plate legs are going for 67k. We bought them for 57 though, so that's a 10k profit per rune plate legs. And this is actually really promising because these have a buying limit of 70, which means we theoretically could make upwards of 700k just from a single item flip. Now with Deadman mode, you really have to keep on top of what items are in demand at the time. Sure, rune plate legs might be the hottest item right now as people progress through the early into the mid game, but later on, maybe not so much. You really have to be on top of how items are entering the game, when they're entering the game, and when it's safe to try to buy and sell things or when it'd be a little precarious. Ooh, look at that. Everything is sold off. All the rune plate legs, that's like another 70k in profit. We actually flipped a sigil of the stamina, our most expensive sigil by far, for a 40k profit as well. And more importantly, if we go ahead and claim everything, we're over $1 million in cash on the first day of Deadman mode. Not too bad, considering we were 100% safe here. No one could ever kill us, but we still got a little time left today. Okay, I think this is going to be the last clip of today. We ended up flipping a lot of rune items and sigils today primarily. All in all, we brought our cash check up to about 2 mil, but we are making a bit of an investment overnight. We're going to try buying some sigils of the Light Bearer. It's quite an expensive sigil, 275k for that thing, by far our most expensive one. We're going to try selling them overnight for 600k and see if we get lucky on it. I expect it's quite good. It does actually stack with the regular Light Bearer as well, and I think over time it'll probably gain a lot of value. And on top of that, we're also going to try to snipe ourselves a Sigil of Last Recall for 525k. I think this thing will definitely go up in value. Hopefully we can buy it overnight, and as people get more cash, these sigils will hopefully spike a lot. But that's the end of day one. Okay, so it's the next morning. Interesting news, not exactly good. We bought 4 Sigil of Light Bearers overnight. I got a little too invested in this item, I would say. We bought them all for 300,000 each, roughly. Overnight, they dropped to pretty much this price, and I might be stuck with them for a while, hopefully not too long. I wish we had bought the Sigil of Last Recall instead. That has actually gone up a lot. Unfortunately, we might just have to sit on this item for a while. We'll try to make our money back, though, pretty quickly. Okay, so because it's day 2, for most of the morning, I've been trying to flip items I think people are gonna want right now. Mystic Robe Tops, Dragon Plate Legs, Dragon Daggers, kind of staple mid-game, you know, day 2 kind of items. We've had a decent amount of success. We've grown our cash stack up to about 3 mil, but now we're moving on to some bigger ticket flips. Black masks are entering the game right now, and there's a lot of money I think to be made on this item. We bought one already for $1 mil. Pretty big investment considering our cash stack's only like 3 mil. But we're gonna try to sell it for a 300k profit, which would be by far our biggest flip. I'm excited. We're also gonna try to buy an ancient staff. In the main game, these are really, really cheap, but because there's no easy way to get them and the Deadman mode economy is so new, they're going for like 300,000, 400, 500,000. They're incredibly expensive. Oh, look at that, that's so exciting. 300k profit on the black mask, absolutely massive. That eclipses our best flip by a significant amount. We're gonna go ahead and try to buy another one right away. On top of that, we also bought the ancient staff for 275k. I feel like I could get burned on this item, but we're gonna give it a try. Oh my god, there's another black mask flip, another 300k right in our pocket. That's 600k already. Okay, so there we go. We finally sold off the ancient staff. Took a while, but we ended up getting a 120k profit on that as well. Very, very good considering its price point. We got like a 33% return, not bad. And we'll try to repeat mainly these 2 items. We have some other stuff going on, but to be honest, it's kind of peanuts in comparison at this point. There we go. Another ancient staff sold, another 100k in profit, more or less. Easy, easy money. And if we look at our Grand Exchange, it looks like we're up to 6 mil, although that's a little inflated because we're desperately still holding on to hope that we can sell these light bearers in the corner. We'll see though. Boom, another black mask sale. That's our 4th one for another 300k profit. Huge money on these things right now. They're entering the game slowly still, but more and more people are getting a high enough Slayer level to kill cave horrors, so they are coming into the game at a pretty decent rate. Oh my god, you're joking me. So I have an alt account. I was kind of just thinking of doing some Temporos on, maybe work up to fishing sharks. Maybe hopefully we can get a rare item. We got the goddamn tackle box. Well, not much we can do with that. Oh my god, that guy just got absolutely demolished. I'm glad that wasn't me. but not destroyed quite as hard as the tanks in War Thunder, today's video sponsor. War Thunder is by far the most comprehensive vehicle combat game I have ever played. In it, you can play more than 2,000 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships spanning over the last 100 years. Once you've chosen and customized your vehicle, you can compete in immersive PvP battles, or otherwise known as blowing up other vehicles. What I really like about War Thunder is it actually has an incredibly detailed vehicle damage system. Each vehicle has been modeled down to their individual components, which means vehicles can take very specific damage. It's not just like a hit point system. War Thunder has incredibly authentic sound effects and honestly a really good soundtrack, which in combination with its very detailed graphics makes this an amazing game to play at 4K. So I would highly recommend trying out War Thunder. It's honestly a really fun game that's available for free on PC, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, or last gen consoles. Simply click the link in my description to sign up and you'll even receive a large free bonus pack including multiple premium vehicles, premium accounts, boosters, and much more. And thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring. Ooh, that's really exciting. We got our first piece of corrupted weaponry, the corrupted dragon claws. I think these should be one of the cheapest, but we bought them still for 700k, still an expensive item. We're gonna try to sell them back for a 300k profit as well. Now, corrupted weaponry I think only comes into the game from breaches, and there's only been a couple of those so far. The interesting thing about that is whenever a breach happens, a bunch of these will probably get dumped on the Grand Exchange all at once. So it might be a good opportunity to try to snipe them for a really low amount around the time that the breaches happen, and then sell them for more later on. Okay, so we got some good news here. We finally sold off the sigils of the Lightbearer. We're taking a loss on them, but I don't care. I just want the money. Who needs it? On top of that, we also got a flip on the corrupted Armadil Godsword. Bought them for 351, sold them for 435, only a 70k profit, but it was very quick, and I think we should be able to do that 10 times more or less. God, we just sold a ancient staff for 500k. That's massive. We bought them for 275, so that's a 225k profit on an ancient staff, pretty much doubled our money. The economy is so whack, it's insane. We also finally sold off our dragon claws for 840, which isn't much of a profit, but hey, we didn't lose money at least. Okay, we have a couple offers in here for some interesting items. A corrupted Voidwaker, hopefully we can get one of those. And an item we actually did end up buying, the Durock's plate legs. Barrow's items are really slow to come into the game right now. There's not many of them. We bought some tank legs though for 570. I think that's quite a good deal actually. If we're patient, I think we should be able to sell it for a decent amount more. There we are, Durock plate legs sold for 850. Pretty solid 200k profit. Oh, we finally got it. The corrupted Voidwaker. I'm pretty excited about this item. I think a lot of people are gonna want it. We're gonna try selling it for 1.5 mil. And kind of test the waters with that. That didn't take long at all. We sold it already for around a 250k profit. I didn't even realize this, but GE Tracker has the Deadman mode prices on it, which means we're able to look at price histories for items in Deadman mode. Super nifty, because price checking items in this game mode is literal roulette. You could easily get burned on one of these more expensive ones, so not worth doing. So that is going to be, I think, it for day number 2. We're ending the day with about 8.3 mil, although we did something really dumb. Apparently some of the tier 1 sigils you can't sell back on the Grand Exchange. Like the sigil the Pharaoh Fighter that we bought for 800k. That's just dead weight in the inventory. I don't know how to get this off this account. We'd have to level up the account, which would be risky. So it's just more dead space in your inventory. I'm not really sure what sigils you're not allowed to sell back. I think it's just a starter 3. Goddamn. Overnight, we're gonna try to snipe a couple pretty expensive items. See if we get lucky. We're gonna try to buy the Stadius's Warhammer, a Black Mask, the Corrupted Voidwaker, maybe a Corrupted Twisted Bow. Leave the offers in overnight. See if we can snipe anything. I'm excited. On to day 3. Okay, so we actually bought a lot of the things we put the offers in for. I'm probably most excited for the Stadius's Warhammer. We bought it for 2.8 mil, and I think that was a really good deal. We should hopefully be able to sell it for a decent amount more than that. We're gonna try for 4.3, which would be almost a 1.5 mil profit, by far our biggest profit to date. We'll see if we can sell it for that much, I have no idea. We grabbed the Void Waker for $1 mil overnight as well. We're gonna try to sell that back for 1.4. And we got some Tank Barrows pieces as well, that if we sell everything for the price we hope for, then we'll be at more than a 10 mil cash stack. Okay, we had to lower the price a little bit on the Warhammer, but really not a big deal. Still a 1.1 mil profit in Deadman mode. We also just sold our Void Waker as well. The Deadman mode weapons are now coming to the game pretty quickly. There's Vesta's spears, Vesta's longswords in the game, and of course the Warhammers. I think that's where a lot of the money is going to be made this Deadman mode, so we want to try to build up our cash stack as quickly as possible so we can start flipping things like VLSs. So there's another Warhammer flip. We bought it for 3.6 mil, sold it for 4.3. Not quite as good as the last one, but still incredibly good. That's still a 700k profit in just 20-30 minutes. We're gonna try to repeat that one a couple times. The prices change really quickly in Deadman mode. Our Void Waker went up 500k somehow, so we were able to sell that for a 500k profit, kind of out of nowhere. Now I noticed the Vesta's spear actually is not that expensive, only 1.4 mil for it, so we're gonna try buying one of those right now. We have a couple other offers in for Barrows items, some of the corrupted weaponry, but we'll see what actually works here. Okay, so bad news, we had to sell the Vesta's spear for I think 100k loss, but the good news is I was able to pool my money and we're able to afford a VLS. The Vesta's longsword I think is going to be one of the most expensive and highly traded items in the game. It has a buy limit of 10, which means every 4 hours, ideally I would try to hit the buy limit for the Vesta's longsword. We bought one for 9.1 mil, kind of pricey for this point in Deadman mode, but we're going to try selling this for 10.4 mil, which would be over $1 mil profit. Okay, 20 minutes later and we have a beautiful sale. Vesta's longsword going in for 10.4 mil, which is a 1.2 mil profit in 20 minutes in Deadman mode. That's really good. Okay, another interesting item. We just bought the Zuriel staff. Bought it for 2.2 mil. Unfortunately, the Vesta's longsword didn't buy again. So we're moving on to another Deadman mode exclusive item, the Zuriel staff. We're gonna try selling it for just a 500k profit, but if you consider the money we invested, that's actually pretty reasonable. So we were able to sell it, but only for 2.4 mil, so not really that big of a profit. One thing I have been doing while I was waiting though is flipping these rune pouch nodes. We were buying them for 200k, selling them for 267. Every 10 of these we're selling, we're getting 600k profit, and they buy and sell really quickly. I mean, we've already flipped 14 of them, so that's like 800k profit, plus we have another 20 to sell. And if you look at the offers and our inventory, you can see that we are now at a 20 mil cash stack. But with that is going to be the end of day number 3. Oh my god, what just happened here? We just dropped a Tome of Water in the GE and it sold for 2.2 mil. We bought this thing for like 800k. I have no idea what happened there. The item price just shot up. We just made 1.5 mil on a Tome of Water. Sold it for 3 times what we bought it for almost. That's Deadman mode for you. Another item that is incredibly expensive in Deadman mode, the Uncharged Trident. Like it's literally the same cost as a Zuriel staff, which is on these 3 a 800k profit. Not bad at all. So today we've been really focused on the Vesta's longsword. We flipped I think 10 of them throughout the day. You can see we have a lot of sales right here. Most of them ranging from 400k profit, but some as high as 800. We flipped Vesta's spears, berserker rings, but it's now 9 p.m, pretty much the end of day 4, and our cash stack has grown all the way up to 40 mil. We had a really good day. We finally have enough money to work with to buy most items, but not everything. Okay, we got a big purchase coming through. I was looking through some of the slower sellers and we put some offers in for items that there are very few of in the game right now. One of those being the Ring of Suffering. We bought one for 12.2 mil, a really expensive item in Deadman mode right now. I'm a little nervous about this because there's not many traded. The prices are totally up in the air. We're gonna try selling it though for 18, which is almost a 6 mil profit. I have no idea if that's gonna work. But there's barely anyone selling these, so we might just be able to sell it for whatever we want, assuming someone wants to pay that much, of course. Oh, hell yes, look at that. We actually sold it. Only took about 40 minutes as well, and we're able to sell the Ring of Suffering for 18 mil, which is a 5.6 mil profit. By far our biggest one to date. Huge profit on the Ring of Suffering. I'm hoping we can try to do that again, but I have no idea if I can repeat that or not. Well, of course, I got to try it. Okay, no luck on the Ring of Suffering. Still haven't bought it. I was actually able to flip a Toxic Blowpipe though. Probably more impressive than that though is the flip we actually got on the Sigil of Prosperity. We sold it for 11 mil, bought it for 9 or something. Yeah, so that's a 2 mil profit on the Sigil of Prosperity. The benefit of Deadman mode is things are often going up in price as the gold inflates the economy, so you're probably on paper not going to lose out on many flips. Oh my god, we left for a couple hours, we come back, literally everything has come through. Another massive flip on the Ring of Suffering. We didn't get quite as high a profit as last time, but still over a 2.5 mil profit, which is gigantic. We ended up buying a Light Bearer for 4.2. We're gonna just get crazy because we're leaving this in overnight. We're gonna put it in for almost 8 mil. No idea if that's gonna work, but if it's gonna work anywhere, it's gonna be in Deadman mode. We got a Serpentine Helm for over 8 mil. A little nervous about this one, but again, we're gonna try to put it in overnight for nearly a 3 mil profit. But if you look at what we're trying to sell everything for, we are up to a whopping 88.8 mil in our Grand Exchange offers if everything sells for this amount, which I'm hoping it will, but I'm nervous it won't. Okay, good news. More or less everything sold off. We're able to sell the Light Bearer for a pretty solid profit of 1.8 mil. The Serpentine we're able to sell for over a 3 mil profit. Super good on that one. And we're able to sell 2 VLSs for about 1.5 mil profit. All in all, we're at an 86 mil cash stack right now on day 6. Oh man, that's an expensive sigil, but we sold it off for 28 mil, a Sigil of Aggression. So that's 2.7 mil on a Sigil of Aggression. These things are really precarious, so I don't know if I want to flip this too much more. It's all over the place right now. That's massive. That's bringing us up to like a 95 mil cash stack. We're so close to 100 mil right now. I think that will be it. I think we've done it. It took 6 days, but after claiming everything, we'll dump these black masks. We're up to 101.7 mil cash stack in Deadman mode. We finished this on Wednesday, and Deadman mode started on Friday, so only about 5-6 days, and we already surpassed 100 mil. Now we could keep going, of course, and maybe I will still do some flipping, but I think at this point I'm ready to cash out. I wasn't sure how far I was going to go or when I was going to swap it. The swap rates right now are 1 to 3, which is 300 mil in the main game. I would be happy with that. If we'd been able to do a little bit better, hit this 100 mil earlier, we could have made 600, 700 mil, but it's hard. But if there's another Deadman mode in the near future and I don't forget everything I've learned from this one, I think we could do it and make it like an absolute bandit. So yeah, that's how I made 100 mil without ever leaving the safe zone in Deadman mode. I can't think of another way you can actually get away with this. We didn't interact with a single PKer. We didn't do any PVM, we didn't do any skilling. We just sat at the Grand Exchange, never left, made 100 mil. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and of course don't forget to check out War Thunder and take part in some incredibly immersive vehicle battles. Click the link in my description to download the game and receive your large bonus pack. Thanks again for watching guys, and I'll see you next time. Now before I go here, I want to give a giant thank you to all of my members over on YouTube. Thank you so much to Alejandra, Mitch Reinders, The Hybrid, and Kush Patel for all being subscribed at the Dragon tier. You guys are awesome. I do really appreciate it. Also thank you to Kapersky, YoYoSub89, and NDM0001 for being subscribed at the Runite tier. Thanks everyone again, and I'll see you next time.